Hey guys, welcome to Drafting with Morgan. My name is Morgan, and we are doing a Battle for Zendikar 8-4 because I'm pretty excited for Oath of the Gatewatch to be coming out. I'm playing in a couple PPTQs this weekend, and I figured the best way to prepare for the top 8 portion without actually playing some Oath of the Gatewatch drafts is to get my Battle for Zendikar on. So I'll see you when the draft starts. We are back with a couple of good options. Our rare is Lantern Scout, which can be pretty high impact. It's a 3/2 for 3 whenever it or another ally enters the battlefield under your control. Creatures you control gain lifelink until end of turn, which is great in a racing situation where you are trying to get ahead of your opponent while also beating them down. I also like Hedron Archive. Hedron Archive allows for things like turn 5 Bane of Balaged, which is kind of insane. Vile Aggregate is pretty sweet. It's a pretty powerful card, and if you have the right deck, it's just great. There's also a Kalastria Healer to go with like Lantern Scout. Dominator Drone is fine. Ghostly Sentinel's sweet. Rising Miasma is okay. It's probably going to be better once Oath of the Gatewatch comes out. Gideon's Reproach is a sweet removal spell. Looking at this pack, I think Gideon's Reproach, Hedron Archive, maybe Kalastria Healer, Vile Aggregate, and Ghostly Sentinel are all probably going to get picked, but I think I want the Lantern Scout. It's the most powerful overall, and if I get good ally synergies, I'd be happy to take it. Alright, we got Past and Undergrowth Champion, which is not actually that surprising. It's a good card, but it's also kind of narrow, and it's in green. I'd much rather take the Bloodbound Vampire. If I had taken the Hedron Archive, I'd be way happy with the Bane of Balaged. Sludgecrawler sweet. Silence-Giver sweet. I think I'd take the Bloodbound Vampire, though. With triple Battle for Zendikar, it's really easy to get the incidental life gain that Bloodbound Vampire needs to be good. Here, pretty easily picking up a Kor Bladewhirl. There's also Shadow Glider, Makindi Patrol, even Myers Malice I'd be interested in getting back. Rising Miasma is worth noting. This is the second one that we've passed. But yeah, I think we are fine staying on the Allies plan for now. We are passing a Serene Steward in favor of a Complete Disregard. Serene Steward is an ally, but and it's also pretty good with the life game plan. But Complete Disregard is a great removal spell and should not be passed for, you know, a 2/2. Here, I'm pretty happy taking Rune Processor. Silence Giver is nice too, but I think even a deck where your curve is like 2, 3, 4, you want big mana guys in this format. We've been getting a lot of Nettle Drones, which could be indicative of red being open. If we had picked up the Vile Aggregate early, we probably would be interested in something like that. However, I like Makindi Patrol here. I think it's fine. I think that we want to pick up as many allies as possible because being on the ally plan is still something that I'm very interested in doing, especially with a creature as powerful as Lantern Scout. And just getting more ally synergies is going to be great. Makindi Patrol is quietly one of the better allies. It's kind of unassuming. We're easily just taking the Kor Castigator here. It's a 3 power guy for 2 and an ally. It's kind of unassuming. It's a 2/3 for 3, but the Vigilance, like the lifelink on Lantern Scout, just enables your creatures to race so well. Because you don't have to worry about dying on the backswing if you swing out because your creatures are still able to block. Kalastria Nightwatch is sweet. I'm really excited to play it with the... Oh man, we wheeled it! Alright. I'm really excited to play Kalastria Nightwatch with the 1/4 Flying Vampire. Whenever it becomes tapped, you gain a life, because Kalastria Nightwatch will just never not have flying. Don't particularly want any of these. I'm gonna just put this in the sideboard. Might actually play this Myers Malice. Depending on our fixing, we could potentially play Tajuru Beastmasater. Voracious Null is a card I'm hoping not to play, but if we need more 3-drops, I can. And I'm taking this full art land here. So we certainly got rewarded for taking the Lantern Scout and following it up with a Bloodbound Vampire. The Kalastria Healer wheeling is really good for us. We didn't wheel the Serene Steward, which is fine. Serene Steward also pretty sweet with Kalastria Healer. Some of the time when I find myself going white-black, you don't wheel the Kalastria Healers or you don't get the Bloodbound Vampires, which makes it really, really hard to have a really strong deck. Here, there's a Gideon's Reproach and a Roil's Retribution. Roil's Retribution is nice because it can be divided among several creatures, but I think I might actually want the Gideon's Reproach, just because it's cheaper. Roil's Retribution is probably fine, though. Yeah. Well, we'll go ahead and take it. Roil's Retribution can be spread out, which I think is okay. We're gonna go ahead and take this Evolving Wilds. Tajuru Beastmasater is strong enough that I want to be able to play it if I'm given the opportunity, and the rest of these cards aren't really cards that I'm interested in. We've got a lot of good Devoid cards, but that's not really something that we're doing. Between Kor Castigator and Sheer Drop, I think I want to take the Sheer Drop. I'm fine taking removal spells over allies. I'm a little more hesitant to take allies, or take non-allies over allies. I'm definitely happy picking up a second Kalastria Healer. Here, I'm going to take the Tandem Tactics. Tandem Tactics is an interesting card in this deck because it can enable tricks like pumping your Bloodbound Vampire, and if we do pick up a Serene Steward, it will be very good with that. The toughness pumping is pretty significant for this card, I think. And when I have 10 creatures halfway into pack 2, I am fine taking a random combat trick. Here I'll take Painful Truths. Painful Truths is fine. We've got life to work with, and we might be 3 colors. Tajuru Beastmasater is definitely worth playing. I'm a little bit more hesitant on the second Tandem Tactics, but I could take the Sandstone Bridge over it. I think that's fine. Sandstone Bridge is actually pretty sweet in a deck that wants to be attacking quite a bit. I'm actually fairly happy with the Cliffside Lookout here. Cliffside Lookout starts off our ally synergies pretty early. In addition, it's a good way to trigger things like Tajuru Beastmasater or Kalastria Healer multiple times in one turn. Ghostly Sentinel's sweet. I think I just want a Nirkana Assassin though. I've got the Kalastria Nightwatch, and there are going to be plenty of opportunities to give Nirkana Assassin Death Touch. So I think it's actually just fine. Here I'm taking the Tajuru Stalwart, I think. It's not really worth hate drafting the Nullifier. I could take a second Myers Malice, but I'm not that interested in it. And Tajuru Stalwart might make the cut based on what kind of fixing I pick up in pack 3. For example, if I get something like an ally encampment, I'd be happy to play it. Tajuru Stalwart's actually pretty strong. One of the fun things that I've noticed about Oath Battle is Tajuru Stalwart's actually pretty good because you're more focused on curving out in Oath Battle than you were in Battle for Zendikar, and your opponents are too. So having the ability to play a 3/4 for 3 is pretty strong. Really happy to get the Kor Castigator on the wheel, and I'm gonna pick up the Blighted Steppe. There is a foil forest that kind of hurts to pass, but Blighted Steppe is basically just what we want. Take another Tajuru Stalwart, I guess. Like I said, not really interested in passing a lot of allies, even if they are a little bit off color. Nothing really exciting for us here except for Kalastria Nightwatch and Complete Disregard. Encircling Fissure is a fun trick, but I'm definitely just taking the Complete Disregard. I would be happy with a second copy of Bloodbound Vampire. I'd be happy with a Serene Steward. Kalastria Nightwatch seems sweet. Looking to cut these Tajuru Stalwarts and replace them with something like a Makindi Patrol right now. Okay, so here's the question. Do I value Serene Steward or Gideon's Reproach more? Since I have the Roil's Retribution, the Sheer Drop, and the Complete Disregards, I think Serene Steward will do better in our deck, and I feel a little bit better about passing the Gideon's Reproach. Serene Steward, for those of you who are unaware of what she does, first of all, she is the prettiest card in the format, I'm pretty sure. Whenever you gain life, you may pay 1 white. If you do, you put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Here, I could take a Demon's Grasp or an Encircling Fissure, but I'm pretty easily just going to take a second Kalastria Nightwatch. When you have a way to gain life every turn, Kalastria Nightwatch gets kind of bonkers. If this had been literally any other land, I would have been fine taking the Courier Griffin. Courier Griffin does well in our deck, but we're going to go ahead and take the Shambling Vent. It's mana fixing, and it's a way to trigger Serene Steward. Also, when Serene Steward triggers, you can put the counter onto your Shambling Vent, and it will stay there even after the end of turn, which is pretty great. This deck is sweet. I like it a lot. There's not a lot going on here. I guess I take a Plummet. I can sideboard that card. Ding. Oh my goodness. They're all in the same pack. That's tough. Makindi Patrol is probably not the pick. However, Zulaport Cutthroat and Kalastria Healer are both very, very good. I might want to just take the Kalastria Healer, although there are 10 cards in the pack, that's not going to wheel. I'd be more likely to wheel the Sandstone Bridge or this Ondu Greathorn. I should probably take the Zulaport Cutthroat here. They're both allies, so that's not a problem. Ooh, Unified Front is sweet with, like, Kalastria Healers. They're both allies. The thing about taking the Zulaport Cutthroat is it allows me to get 2 triggers off most of my allies, whereas a third Kalastria Healer would just... So this makes 4 triggers. No. Yeah. I can get an additional trigger off of my allies that have already entered the battlefield. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and take the Unified Front here. I'll take another Sheer Drop. That seems good. Probably cutting this Rune Processor now. And I wield a Kalastria Nightwatch, which I'm taking. I'm not sure if I'm gonna play it. Retreat to Hagra might actually be fairly reasonable in this deck. Over Lithomancer's Focus, though? Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Retreat to Hagra. Still undecided as to whether I'm going to play it. Didn't even realize that this was in the packs, but we're going to take Encircling Fissure for the sideboard. Here I'll take a Lithomancer's Focus. I'm, again, not sure if I'm going to play it. Add that to sideboard. Do we wheel the Kalastria Healer? That'd be amazing. Nope, just wheel the foil Sandstone Bridge. We have so many cards. I think I cut the Myers Malice and one of the Kalastria Nightwatches to bring my curve down a little bit. I'm gonna cut the Retreat to Hagra because we already have enough, like, things to do. I think the Lithomancer's Focus is fine to cut, and I want to be playing all of these, all 4 of my removal spells that are 3-drops. I want to play as many allies as possible. You'll notice that I think all of my creatures are allies. Nirkana Assassin, Makindi Patrol, yeah. And I'm happy playing Unified Front because we're playing green for the Tajuru Beastmasater anyway. So Unified Front will make 3 allies, get 3 triggers, etc., etc. Do I want to play the sheer drop? The second sheer drop? I have 15 creatures, which I'm fairly happy with. And another thing about Rune Processor, Tajuru Beastmasater is pretty good top end as it is. I think I cut one of the sheer drops, as weird as that sounds. To me, anyway. We have, like, sheer drop Awakened and Tajuru Beastmasater as top end. And I think we win by just playing a bunch of allies in the early game. So we're going to add some basics. We're going to add 1 forest, and then 6 and 6 seems fine. Actually, we're going to go down a plains and go up a swamp. We have 2 Sandstone Bridges, and I think it's worth considering not playing one of them, I guess. But I think they're fine to play. Our deck has a lot of 2s and a lot of 3s, so Sandstone Bridge won't disrupt our curve too much, because we can just play a 2-drop on turn 3 and play Sandstone Bridge. So yeah, we're gonna run this deck, and we'll see how Black-White Allies does. Thanks for watching Drafting with Morgan. Make sure to click on the playlist link to watch the full draft, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. It was a pleasure drafting with you, and I hope to see you in the next video.